This is a conversation with Sandra, one of my dedicated students who has been on the inspiring journey of learning Polish. But this podcast is about so much more than just words and grammar. Sandra's story is a beautiful reflection on resilience, family connections, and the power of small, meaningful traditions. From baking Nanny's messy chocolate cakes for her granddaughters to overcoming the challenges of a life-changing stroke, Sandra opens up about the highs and lows of her journey. In this episode, Sandra shares why she started learning Polish and the funny way she remembers words like "jak się masz", her love for travel, including stories from the Grand Canyon, Machu Picchu, and the Lake District, the impact of her stroke, the strength it took to return to Polish lessons, and how her granddaughters help keep her motivated. Thoughts on Brexit and why she believes countries should work together. Her favorite Polish dishes, from pierogi to potato cakes, and why Polish ice cream is simply the best. This is a warm, thoughtful, and often funny conversation about language, family, and finding joy even in challenging times. A true reminder of why I love teaching Polish. My ultimate goal is to create the most engaging online Polish language course, and students like Sandra continuously inspire and motivate me to make this vision a reality. But your involvement matters too. Together, let's build an extraordinary community for Polish learners worldwide. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share your thoughts in the comments, and let me know which topics and resources would best support you in your Polish learning journey. Thank you.
Wolność, kocham i rozumiem wolność. Oddać się umiem, wolność. Kocham i rozumiem wolności. Oddać się umiem.
So, the first question is, why did you start learning Polish?
Well, it's a very good question. I sometimes wonder that and say that a lot to myself. But I started Polish because my son was engaged to a lovely, beautiful Polish woman or lady. And I thought, well, I've always, when we've been abroad, done a bit of basic language skills. I thought, well, this is going to be permanent, so I better learn some Polish. So I did. I joined evening classes. I did evening classes. I did those sort of on and off for quite a while after work. So I was usually a bit tired as well, so it wasn't the best. But I gave it a try, and I when I first saw the workbook, I thought, oh no, this is going to be so hard. The words seemed so foreign while they were, but yeah, they seemed. I thought, well, how on earth can a word DZI be pronounced J? So it was very, very hard. And I'd had more experience of Mediterranean languages like French and Spanish, and I did think, why couldn't Mike have met a French girl or a Spanish girl? It'd be much easier than Polish. Mm,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. So that was that. I seem to have been learning Polish forever.
you're not the only one. You're not the only one. And what was it like for you at the beginning? Like, do you remember any words or
Uh,
phrases that were difficult for
yeah.
you?
The first sort of phrase that I learned was yak shimash. And I learned that from my friend whose son also married a lovely Polish girl. And yak shimash, well, I thought, well, that's like mashed potatoes, and a yak is sort of a bit like an animal, so a yak. So I remember animal, and she eats mash. So that's how I remembered. That was quite a funny one.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think that was the first one, like first words that I learnt. And the my friend's daughter-in-law had children who were about quite young then, and I had a practice of my Polish with them. They just laughed. And now I have my own grandchildren that laugh at me as well.
Yeah, so can you tell me a little bit about them?
Oh, well, yeah, well, they are just absolutely gorgeous. I love them to bits. And or Malvi, his the mum, only speaks to them in Polish, and Mike speaks to them in English. So they have a real good understanding of Polish. They read books like the Harry Potter books they're reading at the moment in Polish. They say that they can understand, or the words on emotions and everything. They get more. They understand more when it's in Polish and not in English, which is interesting. But yeah, they are lovely girls. And having Polish, I think, helped me to know what they were wanting, and they would talk together in Polish and make up cunning plans and cheeky things. And they thought that I didn't understand much, and I can pick out the keywords in what they're saying, and the same with the mum as well. I can pick out keywords, and so I know roughly how they what they're thinking of. So, you know, they might want an ice cream, so they might be wondering how they can get to the park and have an ice cream, and they'll speak together in Polish. So they do get a bit surprised sometimes.
Yeah.
But now they're nearly 9, nearly 10, and 6.5. So they're getting older and bigger, and yeah, they amaze me. I wish I had a young brain like theirs, that they can speak Polish and English quite fluently. Um, yeah, so that's good. They go over to Poland quite a bit, which is nice. Um yeah, so that's about I can't think of anything else at the moment.
And when you are together, do they speak more in Polish or English?
When we're together, they started now to speak more English to us. I think because they know that my husband doesn't. He's learning on Duolingo, which
Yeah, yeah.
which is not a bad thing. But so he can understand a little bit more, but not too much. But they do speak to one another in Polish at our house sometimes when they're wanting to have something, or they do speak both really.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay. So we'll get back to Polish later, but
mm,
now maybe you can tell me a little bit about your passion to travel. Like what places do you
mm,
like the
mm,
most?
mm, mm, mm. Well, traveling, we've been very lucky. Well, I've been very lucky to go to amazing places across the world. I blame my husband for reading National Geographic magazines and seeing all the beautiful places in the world. We lived when we're just married really, for 2 years married. My husband was finishing off his PhD, and he got a job in America. So we went over to America for 3 years. Um, and that was the first, looking at some of visiting the national parks of America was lovely. And then we've done Kilimanjaro. We've done the Grand Canyon, which is one of my favorite places. We went trekking down to the bottom and trekking out again. Um, where else have we been? Machu Picchu, the Galapagos, amazing. I think that's
Yeah,
most of the places. Um, Peru,
And
Peru and Chile, yeah.
what places in the UK
In
do
the
you like the
Yeah,
most?
well, we like hills. Unfortunately, in Cambridge, there are not many hills at all, so we do tend to go to the north quite a bit. We go to the Lake District, which we like. In fact, we're going there this afternoon. We're traveling up there this afternoon to do a bit more walking to get a bit more fit for our Bulgarian holiday, where we'll be climbing mountains. We like Derbyshire and Yorkshire, and well, one of my favourite places up north is Northumberland, because we lived there for 3 years. After we came back from America, we went to live in Northumberland, and that wasn't like another world. It's full of castles and beaches and coastline and beautiful countryside as well. We did a walk. It was a pilgrim. It's a pilgrimage. It was the St. Cuthbert's Trail, which went from Scotland all the way across to the Holy Island, which is in Northumberland, which is beautiful. It's got a causeway, so when the tide is high, then the island is shut off, and then when the tide goes down, it is you can drive across or you can walk across. And like good pilgrims, we walked across it barefoot in the sand, across the causeway. So that's very special. But we yeah, those are my favourite places, I think, in England. I try
And
not to
what
I try not to mention Northumberland too much because people will go there, and I don't mind them going up to the Lake District and other places that keep Northumberland a bit special.
Okay. What about Poland? What's your favorite place in Poland?
We haven't been too often to Poland, but our first trip was to Kraków with Mike and Malvi and her parents. Um, and we loved Kraków is so beautiful, isn't it, with Wawel and the castle and what was it, the old quarter, the Jewish quarter. We went to uh, Wieczliczka, the salt mine.
Yeah.
So Krakow I do like a lot. Um, we've been to Mazury, with these great big lakes. But I've also been to Koszalin, which is Malvi's hometown, which is nice. I like going anywhere in Poland. I like to go a little bit more. They're all lovely, and Polish people are very nice as well. Um, they're very patient with my Polish skills. And generally, I think I could probably manage in a shop buying a few things and going to a restaurant and maybe even getting a room for the night. I don't know.
Yes, you can. You can
Um,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. And what about Polish food?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm a vegetarian, so that doesn't so Poland Polish people like to eat a lot of meat. But I've had some wonderful I do like a pierogi. And gołąbki. There is a Polish restaurant in Cambridge that does vegetarian gołąbki, which I like. Um, some nice salads, some lovely salads I've had. What else have I had? Uh, I did, yeah, I think mainly, oh, ice cream. They do ice cream, nice. Uh, yeah, so ice cream. Which is really tasty. I like the Polish shop that they have in Cambridge. I can go and have a little look at some of those things that they sell. Malvi, my daughter-in-law, is quite precious, and she says that Polish ice cream is much better than English, and so are their jams, and so there's tomato ketchup. So I do like to try all sorts of different things. Um, What else? I think I like pancakes as well. Polish pancakes are really nice. And potato cakes as well. So yeah, good. I'm never starved when I go to Poland. There's always something I can have. And my
And
husband likes meat, so he will go in for all sorts of different things, like the Bigos and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
and I know you also like cooking, and
Yes.
what do you cook the most?
Yeah. Well, sadly, since my stroke, my cooking skills have got worse. It's affected my right side. And so my right hand is quite weak. So I I that's a sadness that I've lost really. Um, I do like to cook, but I haven't been able to cook as much as I did, and it takes me longer. But I do like to make, but I do make this sometimes too now, is roasted vegetable lasagna. Um, and I like aubergine parmesan. It's quite easy to make. Tomato sauce with tomato ketchup. I do like making pancakes as well, and I do. I do bake little chocolate cupcakes for the girls. They're called Nanny's messy chocolate cakes because when I'd made them gluten free and gluten free flour and they'll get all a bit crumbly. So we had these chocolate cakes and the mess on the table and on the floor with something else. I've now got I add some what's it called something special ingredient. I can't remember what it's called that sticks it all together. So I do that, and so now they're not so messy, but they're still called my Nanny's messy chocolate cakes.
Okay.
Um,
So you mentioned your stroke, which
yeah,
happened 2 years ago, and would you be open to sharing how
yeah,
that
yeah. I
experience
would.
changed your life?
Yeah, just over 2 years ago, I had a stroke caused by high blood pressure. Um, and it was life-changing in many ways. Said I lost some of my skills I had, particularly with Polish, because it affected the left side of my brain. The left side is used for is key in language. You could probably tell I'm struggling a bit with the language because of the stroke, and it also affected my memory and learning new languages as well. So it has been pretty hard to come to terms with that. But I do my best, I keep trying. Um, and what else was I say? It's made learning Polish more difficult. Um, and it's also difficult for me to write as well because of my right hand affected. I'm right-handed, so it's sad. Um, and I can use a computer with both hands, but sometimes I will lose everything. I will delete it accidentally when my fingers suddenly don't go where I want them to go, and they hit the delete button. Just annoying, a bit annoying. Um, yeah, I think we're getting used to what I can and can't do. When we go walking, uh, it is more difficult, and I find I'm a bit more nervous and anxious as well about it. Um, yeah, lots of things that I've taken for granted I can't do now, but I'm trying to focus on what I can do, be positive, and be focus on the negative. But sometimes it is hard.
And
Um,
what helped you during the recovery?
I um I mean, my husband's been really fantastic and really good, helping out and do lots of more things and helping me with dishing out dinners and things like that that I can't do so well now. And my family, they're lovely. They keep me going. Um, yeah, what helps me? I think perhaps my own resilience. I feel I've got a bit of resilience there. Um, I have so my family and the granddaughters are lovely because they sort of bring you to a sense of reality and of the normalness, and they make me smile and laugh, and they're really kind. They are lovely. Um, um, my sister has been a great support and help. And my faith and my church has been helpful too. I have some sort of key words from the Bible that I use to keep me going. And one of them that I use quite a lot is from Isaiah, and it says, "For I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand," which to me is special because my right hand is affected, and says to you, "Do not fear, I will help you." So I think about that sometimes. Outside, walking does help. The sunshine helps. Seeing lovely smiley people helps, like you. That helps too.
Thank you.
And sometimes I I want to crawl and go into bed and not get up in the morning. But I think, no, you've got to get up. You've got to get up. So got to do it.
No, I
It's horrible having a stroke. I don't wish it on anybody.
no, I think you're really a very strong person. You know, I remember that day when I got an email from your husband
Yeah.
because it was the day when we had our lesson, and
Mm,
I remember the day before I got your homework, you know,
mm,
as always, and I also remember you never missed a lesson for like probably almost 2 years back then.
mm,
We always, you know, had this
mm,
lesson and you were always on time. And when you didn't turn up, I was wondering, you know, what happened.
mm,
And
mm,
later the same day, I got this email from your husband,
mm,
and you know, like my grandfather had a stroke,
mm.
and but I was too, you know, little to remember anything. I only
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
from like later when he was already able to move. But yeah, I was really shocked, and uh, I remember first we exchanged a few emails, and then yeah, like when I saw you after our break, I was really happy that you know you like you were, you know, back, and we were able to talk again, and then I also saw a huge improvement. I remember
Did you?
on first,
Oh dear.
yeah, and I was really happy, and yeah, just yeah, it was uh,
Mm,
it was definitely very difficult for you, but I also know that you have a great family, and I'm sure
mm.
they supported you
Yeah,
and they have been supporting you. So
they do.
yeah,
When I said to you, I think I want to need a break from Polish. I thought that was the end. I thought, well, you'll be quite glad to get rid of me,
oh no,
get some free time and well, work with people that are much better than me. Um, And so when you said, but then you kept sending me your films and everything, and I thought, well, I can't just ignore them. I've got to reply. And then you said to me, "Well, when are you coming back?" And I thought that was nice. Then I did find that really encouraging and helpful as well. So thank you for doing that.
no,
Uh,
no, you're welcome. I really believe that you know, learning anything, not just Polish, but helps in many ways. So um, yeah, and you I saw like you are a very strong person, so I was sure you would
Mm.
start taking lessons again.
Well, I would. It's such a, and I've been learning Polish for quite a long time. And if I stopped, then that will be it, and my Polish would just disappear. So yeah, I'll keep on there. I'll keep on trying. Is it 2 years I've had that you've been my tutor? About 2 years?
No, it was 2 years back then when you had the stroke.
Oh yeah,
So now
yes,
it's
it is.
almost four
I can't
years now.
remember. 4 years, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Um,
I did like evening classes to start with, but then I thought, well, then lockdown happened, and then I thought, well, or maybe no, it was a bit before that. I can't remember, but the Polish tutors on the evening course were leaving, and they're going to get a new person. I thought, well, I don't know how much my Polish has really improved all these times the evening classes, so maybe a Polish tutor would be better. So that's when I got you, and definitely my daughter-in-law says my Polish improved greatly after having starting lessons with you. So thank you.
no, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's been really a pleasure, really like our lessons, and
Uh,
as I said, I really think you're a great person. It's always it's always like I can also learn something new from you, and from your stories that you share about your family, about your trips.
yeah.
So um, and now I also wanted to ask you about Brexit.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Um,
I always ask this question my students who are either from the UK or live in the
mm,
UK.
mm,
So has anything changed in your view, like if you compare life
mm.
before and after Brexit?
Well, well, we think Brexit was a real disaster. We wanted to stay. Um, and I don't know, feel that countries should work together, not in isolation, and think that they're the best thing since sliced bread. Um, yeah, I think it's a real disaster. Particularly, I, I think we would feel that even if we didn't have Polish people in our lives, because we've seen them over here. They work really hard. They contribute to society and to British culture, and I think it's such a shame that that has gone. Um, and now, even the state of the country with lots of uh, we don't have the support of Europe anymore, and we're trying to work out by ourselves where to go. And America, well, I don't know about siding with America is too good at the moment. Because of Donald Trump. So we think Brexit was a disaster. I don't like the queues in the airport where when non-EU passports go in another queue. Uh, it's a real shame, I think. We think we're better together than apart. So as it has affected our ability to travel. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know what would Polish people or other people in Europe think of British people now? Do they view them differently, do you think?
No, I think first and foremost, I think it's a little bit too early to say if
Mm,
this was a good or a bad decision. Definitely in the short term, in the last few years, it seems like it was a bad decision.
mm,
But I think we still need a few more years because the dynamics of politics and
mm,
uh, conflicts and tariffs and all these things which
Oh,
have been
tariffs.
happening in the last few years.
Mm,
Uh, I don't want to, assess this right now because I think it's too early. But when it comes to what Europeans think,
mm,
I think they just, from what I've heard from them, they think this was a mistake. Yeah,
yeah.
they think it was a mistake. But if these negative consequences
Mm,
don't change in the long term, then they would be right. Yeah,
mm, yeah,
but
I think so.
it is a shame, as you said, and
Mm,
it's always better, to build
mm,
bridges, not
it
to
is. Yeah,
close them, right?
yeah.
But I personally think that it was you know, one of the biggest geopolitical change in the
Mm,
21st century, and I don't think people who voted to exit they got what they wanted because
mm,
it's not that simple. It's not like you can just pretend nothing happened before. Or
no.
these things are just too complicated to be fixed in a way and
Mm,
those people were promised because
mm,
but let's say I still believe it's possible that in the long term both uh, the UK and the European Union can find new ways to
mm.
cooperate, and
Good.
at the end of the day it might be even better than it was before.
Mm, mm,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah, but we are still the same people. I mean, we are still have a lot
yeah.
in common. We are still Europeans, all of us, and even if before or after Brexit, we can still build on what we have in common.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do hope that, and I worry a bit now with what's going on in the UK and this sort of um some of the politics of some country or some cities that they will make the people that a lot of towns have got got closed communities, but they've got little pockets of unrest and wanting to get people, and that's like make um um I was thinking like make Britain great again. That's sometimes a feeling that people do have that they are being locked out of certain things because they are white, um, and um, and and that's not like that. I don't believe, and I do worry that certain parts of the country are becoming a bit insular and looking after themselves and not as a community. I don't know. Don't know. We'll see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so you said that today you're going to Lake District, right?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Okay.
We thought we'd travel up tonight or this afternoon tonight, and get a and say mainly because tomorrow is going to be a good day here, apparently. I don't know whether to believe it or not.
But is it
And
is it true it's like a summer over there now?
it is, yes, for this week only, and then at the weekend it gets cold again. I know.
So what's the weather forecast like? What temperature?
Well, today it might get up to 29 in some parts of the country, in London, and in Cambridge today it was sort of like 21 degrees this morning. It might get up to about 25, but up in
And
the Lake District tomorrow it's probably going to be about 10 degrees or 18 degrees at highest. So it's and probably a little bit no rain, it says. But about 10 degrees, something like that. So joy.
And we are talking about the 1st of May. Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
1st of May 2025 today, right? And you have
it is.
extreme, this, for the UK, these are really extreme high temperatures, right?
That's a worry,
Uh,
isn't it? All this global warming, which is a bit of a worry too, at the moment.
yeah, but it's just a few days, as you said, like next week it's going
Yeah,
to be back to normal.
yeah, yeah. Yes. So
Okay.
we'll have to wait and see, won't we? I think it's good, wise words from you. We'll just have to wait and see. We wait and see what happens, and we hope all the best for the future, for particularly for our children and the grandchildren. We want to leave something good for them.
Yes, we will. We will. I'm
Mm.
sure we will. Um, okay, Sandra, thank you very much. This was really a very interesting and a
I
very
hope
warm
so.
conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time
Oh, you're very
and
welcome.
and see you in a few minutes on the
You
lesson, yeah?
will. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye. Papa. Papa.
Wolność, kocham i rozumiem wolność.